Hey folks, how you doing? I want to take a few minutes today and just talk to you about how to prune Heartledge Wine Calycanthus. I'm actually pruning this Calycanthus in mid-October, which is pretty much the worst possible time to do it. If you're doing this, do it right after the flowers stop. Make it look like this. So the first thing you want to do is just kind of look inside the shrub, and if you see any branches, and I didn't do a perfect job, but if you see any branches crossing or rubbing, like this guy right here, I should have taken him off, so we're just gonna cut that off. But you know, any branches crossing or rubbing, get them out of there. Any branches that start like on one side of the shrub and then grow back in, you also want to get rid of those. You see, here's another one I kind of missed. See these branches right here? See right here? One of these has to go. I usually try to leave the younger branches because the younger branches tend to flower better. So I will prune out this one right here. You can see where I've already pruned it other years. First off, just go ahead and remove crossing branches going back into the shrub. And then once you kind of you sort of want to open it up a little bit. You don't want to just like take a hedge clipper and make a ball out of it. Please don't do that. You want to prune it at different levels of the shrub. It looks more natural. So I've got this one up here that's this far out, and then this one here. And I'm basically just wherever there's a couple buds on the stem, I'm just pruning a little bit beyond that. A couple buds on the stem, a little bit beyond that. And then that way, next year, all these buds will just fill out. Within 2 or 3 weeks of this shrub starting to grow, it's going to look fuzzy again. You won't even see this formal pruning to it. And the other reason I like to prune just above a branch, basically because you don't want to leave like a stick, a stick sticking out here that could then stick somebody in the eye. But also, you're never going to get growth on that. The growth is only going to come back from the buds. And even at the base, I did go around and I cut back at the base a little bit here too. You're not really trying to make a perfect ball out of it. You just want to knock it back by 1/3 to 1/2. Let it regrow the rest of the summer. By the end of the summer, you may want to just nip a few off here and there that are like, growing into the lawn or into another shrub. But for the most part, try to just leave it. And then next year, you're just going to have just an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous show of blooms. Hey folks, it's early June right now, and my Heartledge Wine Calycanthus has been in bloom for about a month, give or take. What you're looking at here is basically just how aggressively these Calycanthus grow. If you take a look, you can see last year I would have pruned the shrub right here, and it's already got about 2 feet of new growth. And by the end of the year, this new growth is going to be 3 to 4 feet long. It's a very aggressive grower, and it also does really well in deep shade. I'll show you a couple later. Heartledge Wine Calycanthus and Calycanthus in general flowers on both the old wood and the new wood, which is one of the reasons that it blooms for so long. If we look down here, you can see I would have pruned the shrub right here, and there's a little bit of new growth, and this is actually a spent flower. And then after the spent flower, we've got looks like we've actually got 2 more flowers coming. And again, here's where I would have pruned it last year. And there's the spent flower, and then there's new growth coming. It's gonna bloom on both the old growth and the new growth, which leads it to have quite a long period of bloom. It's not like you have to go through every year and totally clear the shrub out. What you're really just trying to do is kind of keep it in bounds, and here I had to prune it substantially because it's clashing with this PG hydrangea. But you don't have to go through and just prune the bejesus out of these shrubs every year. Just do what's necessary to keep it in bounds. Any branches that are growing in the wrong direction, you know, give it a rough outline of the shape you want it to have. But I really do like this Hartlage Wine Calycanthus. And again, here we are in June, early June. We've got new buds right here. We've got new buds right here. And then back down below, you know, these have already bloomed and are going to seed right now. There's the end result of the pruning I did last fall, which I thought was kind of late in the year, but honestly, a Hartlage Wine Calycanthus can handle it just fine. I did a little bit of reading up on Calycanthus before I came out today, and one of the things that it says in the descriptions for the plant is it can grow in deep shade. And I just want you to notice I've got a crabapple tree over here, which is huge, and then I've got a cornelian cherry here, which is also pretty big. But if we zoom under the tree, this is a Hartlage Wine Calycanthus growing in the shade, and it's pretty dry shade, and it's covered in blooms. I hope you're seeing that. Are the blooms as big as the ones in the full sun? Absolutely not. And the shrub has a much more open habit to it because it's reaching for that sun. But I think that this is a very cool thing. If you've got a shady spot in the garden, you know, and you're trying to naturalize or woodland garden, I would definitely consider putting some Calycanthus in there, because this is definitely, we're just gonna call it cool. So I did just want to do a little follow-up there about Hartlage Wine Calycanthus and Calycanthus in general and pruning the shrubs, and to reassure you that Calycanthus flowers on both the previous season's growth and the current season's growth, so you can pretty much prune it any time of the year you want. Personally, I'd recommend pruning it more early in the year, just so it has a more natural habit coming into the following year. But the shrub's gonna do fine. Thanks a lot for watching, folks, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.